Loud. Jeez. We all ought to hear that.
Okay, Lucille has volunteered to moderate.
All right, corrections to approval of the past minutes of February 6th. No corrections, no whatever, let's get an approval.
Do you
of the
need a
minutes.
minute?
Yeah.
You know, I'm always accurate.
Look, that's good.
Thanks, John.
I bet he's reviewed.
So,
Hello. And you guys all your paperwork there. We started, we're reviewing the minutes unless you've already done so. You want to make a motion?
I didn't review the minutes, I watched the video.
Same as reading the minutes.
Oh, I have no problems.
make a motion to accept. The minutes,
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You make a motion?
Accept the minutes. Sounds like you did. I'll second it.
okay,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
correspondence,
Um. The only thing that I have is that I've spoken recently to Mike St. Lawrence of Wyndham Land Trust, and we can talk about this a little more later, but he asked for a letter of support from the committee, which I wrote. What's the name of that grant? So the U.S. Forest Service Community Forest and Open Space Conservation Grant Program. And that is for money to buy the Boy Scout property near Leclerc. So I did that. Okay, and that's all the correspondence.
finances,
On the back of your agenda is the most recent financial report. And that should be totally up to date now with the turkey trot money.
Yeah, they looked.
Okay.
I was looking at who's here.
Mhm.
Oh, it's not here.
questions on the finances?
I will say I was on the airline trail and I checked out the porta potty over there. I'm just looking because it's on the expenses and it was clean.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
You haven't historically had problems up there, have you?
A few times somebody left some stuff. I think Paula one time they'd taken some like trash people had left there. Like it wasn't, it's never been really awful. But
Right,
it
once
took
the
trash
hinge
or
was
something.
off or something was broken on the door.
Yeah, but it's been moved again and it's
Oh.
turned so the doors are different. It's in the same spot, but it's moved a couple feet and the door's the other way. So somebody is moving it.
So for the record, for people on Zoom, it's our total available as of 3:30 is $10,683.36.
Amen. Nice to have money to begin.
Go turkey trot.
True.
Citizens' comments, I don't see any citizens at the,
Oh, there's a few in the
unless
Zoom
we have
room.
somebody online.
If you're in the Zoom room and you have a comment, you can either use the raise hand function or just go ahead and take yourself off mute if you can't find that.
Hi, this is Mike St. Lawrence. I just want to say thank you to the committee. Thank you to Becky and others who helped support our 2 grant applications that we pushed through last month. We have our fingers crossed, but to be honest with you, collectively, I don't think we could have done a better job putting our foot forward here. So let's hope everything comes through.
Okay,
Do you have any, Leanne, do you have anything you want to say before, earlier on?
I can wait until it's tap time.
Okay,
so we're on to events, the Natchog Epics.
anybody go?
I was there. Callie was there. I went with the Last Green Valley. They had a booth set up. So they asked me if I would work. So it's a bright and early morning.
Yeah,
But it was busy, it was good. I mean, in the morning, we didn't get to talk to a lot of people because they were registering, getting their bikes ready and doing all that stuff, but there were a lot of riders.
Seven hundred and fifty, I heard.
Yeah. And I only stayed till noon.
350, they were expecting 800, and Charlie wrote like 350 on Facebook.
This I do not know. I know I saw somebody somewhere saying 700, and I think it was Richard in one of those
It's
email
probably more
threads.
accurate than Charlie's number.
700 is what they said, and they had 3 like groups that left at different times that were doing the, I don't know, 60 something of. There was 3 different ones, 80, 30, 80, 60 and 30 something miles. So they left at different times, and the earlier ones went the furthest. And they were all pretty large groups when they left. So I don't know how to estimate how many were there, but did have something to ask about this. Do we have anything like this?
We were sort of included on it the last time they printed it. It's still that's still mainly a Putnam thing, so I think that if you open it, you'll see like either pointing to Thompson or. It's, pay to play. If you guys want to contribute to it and get on it, I can put you in touch with the woman who designs it. That's Jen Burkowski.
We've talked about this one before.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I went to an event at Thompson in the Thompson Speedway and I got a brochure from Putnam and there was nothing from Thompson, so I don't know.
Well, just to be clear, we are pretty much out of the Z maps. Although I just recently from EBC sent in the $1,000 matching funds for a reprint this year. The reprint hasn't been ordered yet because there's a brand new town coming in, which is Hebron.
Hmm.
So they're waiting until that is done and they have all the match funds from the partners who are reprinting. But those funds have to be expended before the end of June, so they have to come back before the end of June, one way or the other.
We did have some Z-fold maps. Charlie brought some.
He did have
came in
some.
and kind of threw them on the table, so we had some for people. Like I said, the riders were coming in, registering and going, getting their bikes ready, and I wasn't there when they came back, but they had food and awards and all kinds of stuff, so people were probably more checking stuff out then.
No, not so much. We had, the booth was still up at 4 o'clock and it wasn't very busy.
Well, I think, well, if you've done 86 miles, you're
Yeah,
not gonna hang out.
right.
you know.
Yeah, I think
Right.
the key with those promotional pieces is to get them into their swag bags.
We did.
Okay.
Well,
and-
not
and-
we, the last Green Valley had their Explore guides put in everybody's bag, so. That could be a reason too why people already had something and probably.
Yeah. Hi, this is Mike again. I actually rode in the event, so, and the promoter did allow Charlie to say a few words about the Thompson Trails, and he did a good job. I actually said a few words about the Wyndham Land Trust as well before the awards ceremony. We were not as enticing as the beer line, so that didn't get a lot of attention. But nonetheless, the promoter did their best to help us get a little FaceTime, and the attendance wasn't 700, but there were a lot of people there.
Okay. All right, so we're on to Spring Outdoors and Connecticut Trail Day. Spring Outdoors.
Spring Outdoors has been delivered to the library and outside the door here at the town hall. There's some on the table.
Good.
Came in the mail.
Yep.
Yep.
There's more postings online because these only came in before the deadline, but you can continue to post events up until the end. So the online brochure,
I've
website,
got it
whatever,
already.
will have
Thank you.
more.
So for the Spring Outdoors, I actually got an email back from the organizers or whatever, because I've run events for the last 3 or 4 years, and I asked about the paddle. And they said the person who wrote back to me said that if you put it in there that the people can help one another do the round trip, or however we wanted to do that, that's fine. They didn't have a problem with that.
So are you gonna do it?
I'm gonna do it. I think I have until like the 15th of this month to do it or something. I just got the email like the day before yesterday.
Okay, so do you have a date that you're gonna do it?
So it's Trails Day, so that's gonna be Look at my calendar, it's the first,
I think the third and fourth.
yeah, it's the first Saturday in June, so. June 3rd. And I'm gonna do the paddle from Fabian to the West Thompson Dam.
What's the Trails Day that's in April? There is one in April too, right?
No, that's Earth.
Earth Day.
Well, I know Earth Day, but I thought there was also something that some group.
So
calls Trail-
Massachusetts has something in April.
Maybe that's what I'm
Trails.
thinking of.
So I'm gonna do the 3rd, I'll do it in the morning, probably like. I don't know, 10 o'clock. So that's not, well, it's June, so it shouldn't be that bad weather, hopefully, if the weather is, but, and it's only probably a couple hours.
And the water level looks good.
Hopefully it should be good.
You know, were you there when they paddled from Fabian? We did Source to the Sea a
Yeah.
number of years ago,
Hmm,
and that's what we thought it would be a couple of hours. It took them 4 hours to come from Fabian to Thompson Dam.
well, I've done it many times.
I was shocked when you know, it was
Yeah.
hung around and hung around, so, you know, and it's Bill that did it.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna do a paddle with Bill, he's doing one May
13th.
13th, I think, yeah. So I'm
Same
gonna
trip.
do, yeah,
It was fun to watch them come in, but we kept on thinking, where are they? Why is it taking so long? Because, you know, you figure Quinnebog down to Fabian down to West
Couple
Thompson.
hours.
Yeah. so it's quick to get all the way to just past Red Bridge Road, because the river runs pretty good through there,
I
but
was
then
gonna
from
say-
Red Bridge Road to the dam,
And then that could be the other thing that, you know,
paddle.
you either have to paddle a lot or, you know, you gotta hold on that you're going flying down the river, one or the other. But yeah. It's not, I think it's more than a couple of hours.
No, I've done it many times, it's not
Have
that
you?
bad, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's not that bad.
well, Bill was real slow than that day.
Well, and it does depend on the water level, because if
Yeah.
the water level's low, some places you gotta get out and walk, it's
Yeah.
really that low, so.
I don't remember the weather, but I do remember it took a long time. Okay, so we're on to Maker Fair, Saturday, May 6th, rain date the 7th.
Maker Fair is on Saturday, May 6th.
We're gonna hold us to that.
I asked Leave and See the other day, there's 70 some vendors registered already. I have, that's right, I did see that you were one, I'm one too. I haven't looked at the updated list very closely. Typically I do the layout the day before. Sometimes 2 days before, and we just email it to the vendors.
If he had asked in the application, and this isn't really nothing official with this, but it said if you wanted to be near somebody. So can I email you because
you
my
may.
brother-in-law's father's doing it? I just want to be by him if I can help him.
Yeah, and I do
Like,
see
it's not a
those, I
huge
do
thing.
see those notes if they go into the registration, but yes, of course, you can email me separately.
Yeah, I didn't add it only because I didn't know if he was going or not. So I'm like, I don't want to ask to be near him if I don't know he's going, but I talked to him at his birthday like 3 or 4 days ago, so.
It's no big deal. I do generally manage to get everybody near the people they want to get near. So, you know, we're looking forward to a good return event. I'm very happy that we have that many vendors by this point. Last year, I feel like we struggled a little bit right up until the end, and then we had to move to the rain date, so we lost a little. Like the day was fine, the day was beautiful when we did it, and people
Yeah.
showed up, but it definitely felt less. So fingers crossed that we do not need the rain date.
So my question is, before we've had the trailer there, do we need to do that, or we?
Did you bring the trailer to
think for
Maker
Maker Fair,
Fair or just a
community
community
day.
day? You did a table at Maker Fair. You definitely did a table because you were next to me.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
put
I
you
So
guys
do we
next to
want
me.
to
the
do
trailer
that?
to
Do
make
we
it-
want to, have we,
No, I don't think so.
I think we've saturated our t-shirt market, basically,
Mm,
and.
No, there's always going to be somebody. new.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's worth sitting there for people to sit there all day
Right,
for
the
to
trailer,
sell
yeah.
one,
for that.
or even just to sit there all day and sell one t-shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, people who are buying t-shirts are coming into the,
You know, it's tough to buy a t-shirt when you go 2 booths over and you get one for free, you know?
Yeah, but not a Thompson Trails.
I know, but you know,
So your
somebody,
t-shirts are pretty swanky.
I think so.
somebody's got kids, you know, and they go, no, let's go get the free
Mhm.
one, you know?
well, I mean, so my question is there somebody who wants to sit there all day doing that?
The other alternative is you could talk to Rec
Rec.
and Thompson together to see if you could all share an information booth, because Thompson together will have one. And then maybe somebody only has to, the only thing is you have to track the sales, that's all, who sells how many of what. That might be a more reasonable way to break your day up if you can get a volunteer or two.
I know I'm there pretty early with, the checklist as to who's coming in. Beth
So
already-
you're
she
booked,
called me up in February and I said, okay. You know, so I'm
but
there,
you're busy though.
yes, but
Yeah.
until 11 o'clock, and after that, no,
Okay.
because once everybody's got their spot, I'm done.
And I'm always helping whatever they need me for, even though I'm not in the
So-
city, I'm still Thompson together and.
So in essence,
Helps with the
if we
fair.
could put the
That makes sense.
T-shirts with Thompson together, then, you know, you can go from one to the other. but-
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I presume that we will have a planning meeting soon, since we are now in April, but there is not one scheduled for Maker Faire that I am aware of. Not that it takes much planning. It doesn't take anywhere near as much planning as Community Day, because there's fewer types of things to keep track of. It's just vendors
10 by
Food
10 booth,
trucks.
yeah.
and parking, really.
He said he's got 3 food trucks booked.
I think so.
Yeah, he told me today. And then Jedi is the entertainment, which is
That's right.
really good.
Yeah, good. That's right. A good
Guy at Cold
solo
Harvest.
guitar, singer-songwriter, guitar cover guy for the gazebo. So it should be nice. Better not be on the rain date, because I can't do the rain date, but that's a whole
Yeah,
different thing.
So I'm doing the booth with my brother and it's both of our birthday.
Oh,
So that it won't rain. Yeah, right.
Better not.
now he's gonna expect a cupcake or something.
No, I don't.
So-
expect
well, is West Green Valley coming to that, make it fair or not?
I think so.
You think so?
It's in here, I think.
Well, Last Green Valley has it in here because it's an event.
Right.
Now, typically, we haven't had booths for nonprofits
Okay, then
unless
no.
they have something to sell. Because, I mean, technically,
Right.
we don't make those T-shirts. We pay somebody to make them for us, but that's always been close enough for horseshoes for us and this purpose.
See it,
And
May 6th?
probably not.
Okay, all
Nothing
right,
here
so
for May
then
6th.
I will be free. After,
Thought I read it.
once all of the people have checked in,
Right.
then I'm done.
It's
So,
on the
you
wrong
know,
day.
If you wanted T-shirts to be sold,
Okay, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to the
Yeah.
Thompson Together table.
Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to you'll make it. I'm like, I know, I read it.
okay, so we're on
I'm
to
looking for
turkey
Maker
trot.
Faire, not Thompson.
Hey,
Hey, turkey trot.
No,
What do you want to know? It's the new year. We haven't done anything.
Okay, well, that's just in case.
I
Rhonda.
did talk to, when I was in today, talked to Levency and Amanda, so we are planning on getting together, but they have to get through their Easter thing first, their Easter egg hunt. And then we have Maker Faire on the other side, but it's not gonna be a meeting like, I don't need John, it's just the 3 of us, because it's mostly looking at our schedule and talking about sponsors. I've already got leads on at least 2 sponsors because of all the nice real estate people who contact you to see if you want to sell your house. One of them helped me find my house, and one of them once gave me a price on my house, and I looked at a house that he had. And so I asked both of them, and they both said they'd be willing to sponsor. So I'll get Tony, I never got a hold of him. I'm gonna have a lot of realtors here.
Tony Shabbat,
Yeah, but, yeah.
you might see him tomorrow. I'll poke him.
Yeah, I've never, I sent him in a text once, but I've never actually formally asked him. Yeah, so we already have Meadowview and Johnston, and now I might have John Downs, and I forget which company he is, and. Cyril, who sold us our house, is with CR Realty or whatever it is, out of Woodstock,
PR premiere.
CR Premier, yeah.
All right. Trail updates. Airline State Park Trail.
I believe that Jean has completed and submitted her report.
I haven't got it. Okay.
Actually, maybe not, because I don't think I've gotten the final, but she's nearing that. And you guys know that Jean is technically retired. I know you know, but everybody else, her replacement has been hired. Jocelyn Leahy. I met with her last week. I don't know how much going forward RC&D is gonna be the airline trail sort of center point, although I suspect that's still gonna go forward, but she's getting used to the position.
But we don't know if they're gonna be the grant.
I think
fiduciary.
I think that's gonna depend on the grant that Jean submitted to the CTD Recreational Trails grant program, which we've all submitted to, right? The Wyndham Land Trust has submitted to it, we submitted to it, they submitted to it. I'm sure Putnam submitted something to it.
Yes,
So it's a lot up in this, well, that one's not specific to this corner. So I'm sure that the success or failure of that application will somewhat determine how the overall management of the airline trail goes. I submitted my grant, as everybody else did, requesting however much I requested, 600,000, I think.
That's
To-
the number you used before.
Yeah, it says 608, actually, I think, for the implementation. In the last meeting that we had, you guys saw the site plan. The site plan's more or less fixed now. Daniel is going back on Wednesday to talk to the Butlers to adjust the boundary survey on that little 1.1 acre portion. Because I met with them and, you know, when I cut that piece out visually on the map, it was just based on the geometry on the map. They had pointed out that there's a portion of that property that they actually need access to, and realistically, there's no reason to have a 1 acre parcel there for the park. So he's gonna readjust that and do more of a site plan for just the turntable piece. That's all under the existing grant. I'm preparing my first quarterly expenditure report on the first grant from last year. So we will start seeing reimbursements for the work that is going on there now. And presumably from the legal and acquisition stuff, once we're able to work through that with the Butlers. So.
clarification, the Butlers, is it an easement, a use, or are they giving us the land?
What we have proposed, what I have proposed to them, and we all seem to be in agreement, at least in philosophy, is that it doesn't make much sense for anybody except the state to own that in the end. So we would be acquiring it with funds from the grant and then donating it to the state. There was some question as to whether the state would purchase it to us, but the value of the property is probably less than $2,000 appraised. So that would cost them more in legal fees than it would for us to, under the monies we already have, acquire it and donate it. But it just doesn't make any sense for them to have a public park as part of their property
Right,
when the rest of the park is the state. So that's sort of the principle we're working with. And I presume that that will more or less be how it plays out.
Okay, so that goes under the Great East Thompson train wreck site. That is what you're just talking about?
Right.
Okay.
Because it's on the airline
Yeah.
trail, so it's all the same.
All right.
Jumping back a bit, I don't know, did I ever announce the date of Turkey Trot last meeting? It's usual, it'll be November
But
12th.
you
No,
have
you
to
didn't
clear
put a
it.
date.
you have to clear it with the.
It's cleared,
It's clear,
cleared with the Park Service, that's you say,
well, we should put.
so that is November 12th,
12th?
yeah.
Okay.
Is that Veterans Day?
Day after,
Day.
always Veterans Day weekend.
Mhm.
I don't.
12-pound task force.
Well, that's the
Well, that's the-
RC&D piece, so that's pending. That now RC&D does have a council meeting on Thursday morning. I may have a conflicting meeting with the tourism district at the same time, so I have to decide which one I'm going to go to. I'm on both councils. I might go to RC&D just because they have the new executive director, but anyway, we might have some kind of update after that.
Okay. Maintenance work days.
So I know we have to do one. There's a bridge that needs a little attention on the airline trail. The one that the tree went through. I cut the tree down, but I just haven't got out there to, it's not like dangerous or anything, but there's a top rail that's not there. It's broken. It's not a major thing. Somebody did write to us on the Facebook page about a tree being down. You could get by it very well, but I don't know.
Did they tell you where?
I think it's
I forget.
It's on the,
You responded.
yeah, it's not by the condos, but between like the condos and pass through 200 and Sunset Hill, somewhere in that section, I believe. That's the only section I really haven't been on in a while, so, but so that just needs to be taken care of. I'll get up there and I can probably just get it. It's a quick thing. It's not a huge thing, and it was kind of on the side, not really on. Somebody did cut two big trees that fell onto the airline trail. I didn't even know they were down. I was walking on it the other day. Actually, I was looking for somebody's horses that got out on the airline trail.
I heard about that too.
Yeah. So anyways, I was out there helping to look, and I found a couple of trees that had been cut, like big trees. So I don't know who did it. I didn't even know they were there, but
But the stuff.
we'll have
they
to clear it
moved
up a little bit. But overall, it's really pretty good, but we do have to set a maintenance day to do some mowing.
So you just, when you want to do that, you'll just put it out to everybody.
Yeah, I'd rather sooner than later, but I've been spending all my time building stuff for the Makers Fair so that I have enough stock. So to look, it's sooner is better than later, especially now because there's no leaves on everything. So you can
Right.
kind of see where you're cutting a lot better, and we can mow it back really good. I'll have to see what I have coming up.
All right, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna publish anything. You're gonna like contact people when you have a window.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Because I know, Sandra's not here, but she wanted to help with that stuff too.
Yep.
So, okay.
set a date.
Okay, Bull Hill.
I think that what that was is that somebody reported to me, not the Bull Hill Wyndham Land Trust, but that the trail around the soccer field needed some cleanup. So I don't know if anybody go out there ever?
I drove near it once, but I was looking at, there's a Bull Hill hike on here, and I was thinking, I gotta check my calendar and actually do that.
But that's the Wyndham
a
Land Trust,
Yeah,
Right.
Bull Hill, but this is the soccer field trail that goes
yeah,
around.
I've never even seen the soccer field.
I've never been there. So what is it? It goes around the soccer field?
Yeah.
Is it something that like the mower? We could,
I think it's trees that he said, that there were some branches down, but it might be just one of those where you go for a walk and you kick stuff out of the way.
I'll talk my wife into going for a walk up there and checking it out.
If-
I found it in the trail. We'll see what it is.
Okay, well, Claire Trail Planning.
Okay, now, Mike. I don't know, Mike, if this is something you want to start before you know what happens with the grant, but he had asked if some people on the Trails Committee wanted to be involved with the Wyndham Land Trust in planning where these trails on that, redoing the Leclerc Trail. Because part of it is now a bridge that's inaccessible. So that needs to be this is like talking about new trail planning, which we haven't done for years. And so who, think about it, or who wants to sort of be a subcommittee with Mike? Is that what you want to do, Mike? Is like,
Yeah, well, there's a timing issue here, because ideally you want to incorporate Leclerc into the Boy Scout property, assuming we get the Boy Scout property, right? Because it's all one contiguous block. I would think it would be premature to go and invest a lot of time and energy on Leclerc only. And I think it'd also be a little premature even right now to get more aggressive on the trail planning for the Boy Scout property, more so than what I've already done. Is sort of like a rough draft of something that might be possible. The reason I say that is we have 6 to 9 months before we even know if we get the grant. So you know, I would think sometime this summer, we might have some indications where we're at there. We've raised half the money, so I'm reasonably optimistic we're going to get this done. But we can't really do anything except sort of reconstitute the Leclerc trails. And I think, to be honest with you, my personal belief is that the Leclerc trails would be much more attractive if they were integrated into the Boy Scout trails, because then now you could have loops ranging from 1 mile to 7 miles in length, depending on how you structure them and use not only the old overgrown trails that were on Leclerc, but the many you know, let's call them 4-wheeler trails that have been made over the years. So I think I would recommend that the Trails Committee put this on the agenda for June or July, and we revisit this and see where we're at.
Okay, I just want people to think about if this is the kind of work that you might want to get involved with, and because we haven't done new trail planning in a while. So, but I also see 2 phases. So one is like looking at maybe your maps and trying to do some planning, and then the actual going out and walking it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But if anybody wants to go out and like check out Leclerc before that, is that okay?
Of course, yeah. In fact, I'll be happy to meet with, you know, you have my contact information, to have somebody send me a text or an email or whatever. And I'll, because I'm noodling on the options as well, real time. I just didn't want to get too formalized too early.
Okay, great.
Mike, how large is the Boy Scout property?
272 acres. And Leclerc is what, 75, I think? Something like that. I keep forgetting. So between the two, you know, we'll have, you know, 350 plus acres. And let's not forget that it also abuts Aquatic Lake State Park and State Forest, so on both ends. So, you know, really I mean, part of the sell for the grant was that this is, you know, tens of miles of trails that are accessible with this piece.
Nice.
It's exciting. Well, we haven't done new trail stuff in a long time.
Yeah, the real challenge for that whole incorporating Leclerc and the Boy Scouts is going to be Blackmore Brook. What do we do about that? How do we get over that? How do you not make it a bridge for motorcycles and 4-wheelers and
Make it this
so that's something to think about.
And how wide is that? How long a crossing is that? It's not long, is it?
It depends. I've walked the entire length of Blackmore Brook there. It's almost a mile long. And there's some narrow spots, but they're not high. So in the spring runoff, they would get flooded. And so your bridge has to, that's what happened to the last bridge. It is washed away.
Oh,
So anyway, we got plenty of time to work on this. And like I said, anybody has any interest in checking it out, I'll be more than happy to give a tour and noodle around with some ideas.
Okay,
All right, 2023 goals, the bike repair station, benches, horse mounting blocks.
you all brought your lists, right?
No.
So to be clear, EDC did request the
funding.
funding for the bike repair station. They had encumbered it into this year. But all of the encumbrances were reviewed a few months ago and asked to be released because they ran over on some budgeting stuff, so EDC very graciously said, yes, you can take this back, but we're going to ask for it again in the coming fiscal year. So that is part of our current budget request. I did my budget presentation the other day. Unlike years past, it did not feel very contentious.
Mm.
Everybody seemed to,
Yeah. They
Be
just-
nodding along.
Say, yeah.
of course, nothing's final till it's final, but I would expect that you'll be able to count on that from EDC in the next fiscal.
So is it getting put? The bike repairs are getting put down by G7, or is it going?
I don't think that has ever been fully decided on. There's reasons to put it there and there's reasons to put it at the
Train-
train wreck site.
Yeah.
So it may depend in part on how far along we're able to get with the other construction up at the train wreck site. Whether it makes sense to
Yeah.
do that.
Well, that was the
We'll wait.
originals, that was the original that they were gonna put it up there, but then when they said, well.
Quite frankly, if I get $608,000 from the state, we can probably get another one.
Oh, my,
Well, so I thought that was our thought on it when we
That
talked
we
about
would
it, that
put
we
it
would put it in
Mechanicsville.
Mechanicsville and then
Get another one.
figure it when we got the park going and built and seeing if there's some money to do it, or if we needed to just come up with more.
Right, because we didn't really want to put it until
We don't know where to put it.
until the parking lot is fixed.
Well, at this point, we have to wait to see how the finance part of it comes out, but if they get the funding, then we can.
But
Well, I
both
would
of
think
those
we-
pools of funding should be resolved by the end of June. So
Right,
we'll
but
know.
by our next meeting, we'll know, and I would think we would want to make the purchase as soon as we can to avoid further price increases to it.
We've already allocated our money for it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We
Yes.
motioned it and did, and then EDC
don't
had to hold back.
DDP, right.
But we're good on that, but again, my thought is still to put it at Mechanicsville. And then,
well, that was what we had discussed, I know. that.
right, I don't know who makes the final decision, but I thought that's what we as a committee had talked about and decided
Yeah.
that that was the better plan right now.
Yeah,
But again, we could talk more about that.
Yeah, in June.
Once it's
see where
approved.
we're-
I think the idea of goals, when I suggested, and you thought at the same time, is, and I mentioned that, is that if we're getting more money in from the turkey trot, before we start spending it on too many little things, whether it's blocks or benches or anything, is the idea, are there any bigger projects or bigger ticket items we want to consider that might cost? We got 10,000 now, let's say we get another 5,000 for turkey trot this year, and we have close to 15,000. Now we can do something with that besides just buying a new tool. And does anyone have any ideas that might require a larger expenditure?
well, that sort of moves a little bit into the trail assessments. Because, I mean, if the 12-town task force doesn't come together, I think we want to move on signs ourselves. And I'm not sure all those trail assessments, like, were they supposed to be like posted along each of the trail where
Yes.
they have, so Last Green Valley has done the entire airline within Thompson, and so we have these.
Matt Quinn supposedly has those signs to be installed
Already fabricated?
or already fabricated. They were made by prison inmates out in Enfield. That was a connection that Lori Giannotti had. So the entire airline trail signage was all done by inmates out in Enfield.
The entire 50-mile stretch?
No, Thompson.
From
Thompson.
no. From Lebanon to Pomfret and Thompson.
Okay.
So the signs are somewhere?
Most of the signs are up. I think the entirety from
Pomfret is up.
Pomfret to Lebanon are up.
And who put them
The
up?
Thompson ones,
Did the
I
state
don't know where they are.
Did the state put
It
them up?
was, yes, it was Matt Quinn's crew.
Well, I'm gonna get.
So
on
if
that.
his crew can't put it up, would that be one of the projects we want to consider, whether we have to hire somebody to, if we can get these, and we'll put them up ourselves if he's not gonna do it?
I have
Because
asked.
this has been a
about
couple of
that.
years, now.
Right, it was a liability issue as far as,
He won't even let someone else do it.
They let, I'm just gonna say, they let Graphics Unlimited
Yeah,
put the signs up related to the train wreck.
yeah,
I mean, maybe that's because that's so close off the road and so easy access, maybe that was an easier lift for them. But I would just point that out, and I'm sure
but a lot of
that
these signs
Graphics
are just
Unlimited would be
the,
happy to.
the
quote that for you.
intersections, the
Right.
street intersections.
all of these signs are going on the sides of streets. So it's not like they gotta schlep into the woods. They're off of whatever road the trail is crossing.
So that is the follow-up point, that it shouldn't be a liability issue. It's already been permitted here.
It's on
For
other
other
parts of the
things.
trail.
And if that's the holdup, or if they need matching funds or something, but if his guys are doing it, then it doesn't sound like it's a funding issue.
It's a staffing issue is what it is.
So, yeah, I would go ahead and get an estimate from Joel at Graphics Unlimited. He's been very,
Well, I have to figure out how many it is.
The other
You
side,
sent me all these
I
files,
think
but I
there's
didn't
like
print
7,
them yet.
So there'd be like 14, I think.
the other side I would like us to consider is for the railroad bridge coming into town and leaving town. When you get off the exit, the left hand exit, there is a
Yeah.
railroad bridge.
But what kind of sign are you talking for?
Explore the last Green Valley.
Do you
Or
mean on
something.
the front of the bridge where you see it from the highway?
No,
Or-
it's right across. Putnam has,
You know, that's what I'm saying,
Right.
right? Painting the front, painting the bridge that you would see as you drive under it, you're saying. Like
this
Putnam
is
has.
Putnam.
Yeah, yeah. That's
They
what I
have
mean.
welcome to
Mhm.
Putnam.
Oh, yeah.
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 We could have something like that on that railroad bridge coming
why
in.
am I still not
At
thinking
the-
of where that
on
is?
the
It's on the on-ramp to
See,
395 and the
also-
off-ramp to 395. That comes up to Riverside Drive, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, thank you.
That bridge is still an issue too, because some people have complained in the past that there isn't enough safety. The railings and stuff for people on it,
For
Not as
horses?
pretty as but.
for people, I think. I know someone wrote
Oh,
on
yeah.
Facebook once.
That's
that
as long as
they
we're
think you
talking
need-
about signage. I am submitting a grant to do the wayfinding, the townwide wayfinding. that we
Oh, you
design.
have a course for that again?
Well, it's the same grant that I applied to before. I was pretty sure we were a near miss on that one, based on the feedback I got, so, I am working on that. I don't have to submit it until like early June, so I've got plenty of time. Yeah, so I am working on that right now, but those would be almost entirely roadside signs. I believe there are some signs designated for parks and like rules of engagement on the trail, a couple of those, and info kiosks, but most of them are on road signs.
Yeah, if I recall, the bridge was because they have like that side walkway on it and they were
So-
worried that somebody could fall off. But I don't know that that's something we could do anyway. It's a railroad bridge. It's. And even painting that, I'm thinking that might be too big of a project. I think painting those bridges, because you've got to get the rust off of it and everything. I think that's a lot more than we'll ever have funds for.
Do you really think it's that much? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not cheap.
Well, I didn't
Yeah.
think it was cheap, but
Plus, you've got all the OSHA requirements. You can't just hang off a bridge and paint it.
Yeah.
You're over a highway exit, you've got to pay someone to set up scaffolding, probably have state police under there. I mean, that's a whole thing.
You'd need a right of way
Yeah.
permit from the railroad. There's factors.
the state owns it, not the railroad.
That's part of the airline. trail.
That's the airline trail.
The
Yeah,
airline trail bridge over,
Hmm.
It's a railroad bridge that
but it's
used
work,
to be, but it's
it's
trail.
work within 25 feet of the railroad, so you would probably need a right.
There's no railroad there.
It's abandoned.
There's no.
Oh, the abandoned.
Yeah.
This is
It's
why I
the
was
airline
confused,
trail.
because he's showing me the thing. I'm like, where do we have? a
That's
bridge like that?
That's
I'm so
Ours is
freaking
the-
confused.
that's an active track in Putnam. Ours is-
Is that?
Ours is our.
That's why I was so confused.
Yeah.
And now I'm not confused.
Now we got
anymore. Okay, good. Come on, move on.
But like the state does own
I know,
it, so
thank
we'd have to
you.
do whatever
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have to do for them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a sign
And
that
then it goes over the highway.
I would love to
So-
do that. I don't think it's something we can afford.
No,
to.
but if
That
it-
should be a state.
if it's
Yeah, put it in
attached,
just a
you know,
thing.
just attached sign, not.
That would be
painted onto
easier,
the
yeah,
metal.
yeah.
Just glue it on.
Duct tape.
That's some gum.
Well, that's the-
Bungee cords.
Liquid
Yay.
nail.
But yeah, I like that idea, though, if we're thinking projects like that,
Yeah.
maybe.
Because you don't have to
Consider.
put it on one side of the bridge, right?
Yeah, now I know exactly where it is. Okay.
Well, you're probably, I don't know, you could still see the other side, I think, from Route 12, can't you?
Yeah,
You
but
would
you'd
want
be
to,
leaving.
you
Tom,
would
if
want to
you're
be
going that way.
to both sides.
Bye.
Come again.
Come again,
Right.
Stop at our one restaurant while you're here.
No, we can have more than one
I know.
Oh, I was gonna say. It's three that I'm thinking of real quick, four.
Or,
Okay, so we're on to the last Green Valley
I've-
Trail assessment.
No, yeah, well, yeah. That's part of the mix. That's what we were talking about. Those are those signs.
Yes.
So, but we're, this whole big topic of goals,
mhm.
you know, like, do we need more horse blocks anywhere? Do we need?
I don't think
benches
so. I haven't
everywhere?
heard any requests for any other horse blocks from,
So I mean, our big goals for the year is getting a bike station figured out. And
we could still do benches, but you know, we also want to think of what we might need with this Leclerc trail and stuff, and whether
Well,
we need to
all right.
spend any money on that.
right, I mean, some of the Leclerc is Wyndham, it's Wyndham
Yeah,
Land Trust,
right.
but you know, we could. Help
Mhm.
if, you know, doing the bridge or something, maybe bridge boardwalk, something.
And we don't have to spend any of this year, but it's the idea of getting the thought going, so.
Hmm.
Again, we're not spending it on, you know, a lot of little things and then find out, oh, we would have liked to do this project,
Yeah.
but we're $1,000 short.
So any other goals?
Can I still say? it would
Kevin,
be
do you have
nice-
any goals when you join the committee?
No,
No,
not
okay.
really.
But I did say it'd be nice to put benches on the airline trail. I mean, we never really. We
Yeah,
got to
well,
a
we used
point
to
that-
talk about benches, we used to talk about informational signing, which we finally got from the train wreck park, but. That could still be elsewhere on trails. Most trails have something on there saying
I'd like to at
something
least see
about
mile
the
markers.
historical thing or the geography of the area.
Mhm.
Because you're in the
markers.
corner, mile markers would be good.
Like from the mass line, you know what I'm saying? You could put
Mhm.
mile markers. I actually have pictures of somebody had made them and I don't remember if it was Pinterest or where I got it, but they made them out of railroad ties.
Hmm.
Not ties, railroad spikes. And they heated them and bended them and, you know, into numbers.
Nice.
And it was, you know, for mile markers, I think that would be cool. You put it, you know, it wasn't just, it was on a post. That it was, but I think it'd be nice for people to know. One, where they were on the trail as far as mile markers, even if it was marked at the half miles. Two, it's an emergency thing. Hey, I'm on the airline trail. Well, where are you on the airline trail?
Someone,
Yeah, I mean, it's 7 miles, so it's not like we'd never find the person, but. At least they could say, I remember just passing mile marker 5.
One of the things that, that the 12-town task force talked about is that the Hop River group, which is not part of the airline, but they have sort of set up a whole sign system and that we might want to model on there. So I don't know. Have you-
I remember
been
the
out there.
conversation. I was in the meeting, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we might want to do some exploratory, and if the 12-town task force doesn't pick it up, we might still want to work with them and get some models of what they're doing.
Mhm.
Just at any point, if you do decide to pursue signs through the Trails Committee, I have all the branding, the town branding. So just make sure that I get that to you. Because I think another thing that has come up in those 12-town task force discussions is it's great when towns do their own work, but the cohesion is an issue, right? How to identify both that you are on one continuous trail, but also be individuated. So, and a part of that is, obviously things like color schemes and fonts. Is your town logo big? Is it small? Where is CT Deeps? Where is
The Trails
RC&Ds?
Committee, where's the-
How do you
where's the last
get all that on there?
Mhm.
But at least for the town branding, I have all that and can get it out anytime to anybody.
When you say you have it, you have art.
I have the
Artwork.
files, yeah.
the artwork files.
The
Other?
color codes, the RGBs and all that stuff.
Other? Not hearing other?
You can always bring them up, though.
Are we going back to the trail assessment?
Yes, if you-
Last meeting, we talked about behind drafters. 2015, 2016, we had a different type of assessment. And we did from the Riverwalk out at the gazebo all the way over to the boat launch. However, when we made the signage that we made, we didn't go all that way. Because once you cross at the library, you cross Route 12, and then you have that like boardwalk on the side of the mill. And then it kind of just ends, and you've got this nasty road with traffic that,
Here's a trail that goes all the way up.
Yeah,
Yes,
but you have to
you have
cross
to
the-
cross.
you have
and then-
to cross.
right.
You
you have to
cross
cross
and
that
Buck
next-
Hill,
just
Buck
that
Hill
hill.
Road.
The signage and stuff there now too, trail crossing.
And so because that seemed to be a dangerous intersection to us, we didn't think it was a good idea to promote that. And once you get up to the top where the ballards are, you can continue all the way to the boat launch. That we would probably reassess with the equipment that we have now. But before we do that, we need to have a starting point and an ending point. If anybody has any ideas.
That
Because-
can't go into the woods, that equipment that assesses the
Yes,
trail.
it can,
Oh, because the trail goes
right,
over a little over a mile past where you're talking about the boat ramp.
right. But we need to know how you want it divided, and so I would have to meet with somebody. To know what we're doing.
She's concerned where the mill
No, I
is,
know, yeah.
when you gotta cross.
You gotta go up the hill along the side of the road and then you
Well,
cross at
no,
the bridge.
it's the walkway across from 12,
Mhm.
where the library
There's
is.
no little traffic on that road. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I would just say, Ross, put a walk sign in the
Crosswalk.
road
Mhm.
across.
There is a crosswalk there. And there's also signs that say trail cross, the one that's on, was that Buckley Hill? What is that?
Buckley Hill.
On Buckley Hill, there's
Oh,
signs.
yeah, on that
and-
side,
Yep,
but that's not what she's worried about.
No, she's
Yeah.
worried about where the
The mill.
library is.
No,
No,
I don't know,
no.
so I thought you were
Where,
talking about
from
Buckley
the,
Hill.
across Buckley Hill.
yes, that's
From-
nasty.
sightlines aren't the best, but I mean,
The
that's the
access, the
trail.
access road that leads from Route 12 to the mill is in terrible condition. That is
Yeah.
I believe that is a private road.
Yeah.
And I believe the
Yeah.
developer is gonna handle that once their transaction is complete. I believe. I have to double check that. on
In
the
our
road, 'cause
lifetime?
I talked to the state about that project today. in fact. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe that that is the case with that stretch of road, but you're correct, there is a paved walkway that is independent of that, so you don't really have to worry about the condition of the road there. Yeah, it's the crossing at Buckley Hill
Right,
that's heinous. However, if you do want to go out there and do assessment, just let me know, because that 150 acre parcel was sold to a developer. The easement is going to stay with the trail, whatever, but he is interested in developing essentially a vacation, small rental resort thing on that, unless his plans have changed. So he will want to certainly be aware of any kind of signage that you'd want to put there. He's a nice guy. In fact, I talked to him today as well. he has been waiting to start work on all of these, partly because his first project is to do some improvements on the dam, which need it, but he's been held up by DEEP, so that's why that's been sitting.
Ask about the dam, so he's responsible for the dam then.
He's taking responsibility for it.
Good, good.
Wow. That's a big nut.
Yeah, he has submitted a plan, I think it was GZA was the engineering firm. To DEEP for review, and he says that they've gotten back to him within the last couple of weeks saying they've been held up, but that they are now reviewing it. So,
Good.
I mean, what I would visualize is that most people who are doing it, like park down there behind drafters. And if we have a start point at the parking lot going
No,
north, and at some point do a sign going the other way for that little piece that is dangerous.
Well, I don't have an issue as far as from the parking lot to the bollards. That would get you down to that hill, so it would be an out and back rather than being a linear trail. For right there,
Out and back on both ends.
oh, this other end, yeah.
The other one's
north.
an out and back
Yeah,
too.
right, yeah,
But that's what she's talking about. The ballards are right over by that crossing. So that's what she's talking about. She'd do it from there.
I'm not sure. about that.
I
So
wouldn't
where you
wanna
would
s-
cross Buckley Road, she's basically gonna start at the ballards, so you can't drive into that section, start there.
Yeah, but
wouldn't
but
wanna
I would,
stop there with the parking there.
yeah, I would want to see a sign like at the base of the parking lot. This happens this way and this happens this way.
Yep.
Hmm.
At draft, behind drafters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So are we in the queue to do that section? I mean, you
You
put out
can
the,
certainly be in the queue.
okay. All right, because I didn't know how many people already contacted you, because I got your letter, but I didn't see it for the last meeting, so.
I have had numerous people. Approach me. Several of them, their trails aren't ready.
Hmm.
So they got pointers as to how to make it better. That's not what we do, but, we told them, yeah, this would be a good trail, but you need to, get rid of those rocks and take out those stumps and then it would be doable. So
Well, the
we have
trail,
many that are down the road, but not a whole lot that are ready to go.
the trail behind drafters going north. At some point, it's not going to be an accessible trail, so we're just going to work up till that point, and we haven't been out there to see how
Which
clear it is
we
right
had
now.
also looked at
Yeah,
back years ago. But we were lost because we didn't know what we were really looking at.
The trail is marked. I don't know when you went out there, but it's been marked for a long time.
But to stop in the middle of nowhere
and turn around.
and be able to tell
Yeah.
somebody what that point is.
What's marked on the tree, I don't know. At the end of the trail, there's a 3 triangle thing with the thing on the low, which
so
means
maybe,
end.
maybe what makes sense is when I see a real plan that developer is ready to bring for, public approval, because it'll have to go through planning and zoning. Once he's got a set concept plan, maybe that's the point at which I could hook you guys up.
Okay,
I mean, maybe he would want to do some kind of a loop that
He probably would.
his
Right around this property.
vacation homes would be able to get on the trail and loop down and.
Not only
loop
would he
back.
probably, I wouldn't be surprised if he's already got one incorporated into his concept plan, because he knows that the existing trail is already there and
But what's-
that easement is to the town,
But
so.
what's their access? For the, whatever he's building is from what road?
Well, when he builds it, it would come in off 12.
Mhm.
But right now, the only access is the same access everybody has, which is
Of the
just the
trail.
trail itself from that parking lot.
You can get further in though. There's a road that's cut.
Yeah, they did some trees out of there.
We had to, they had to make a
before.
big fire break out of there.
Yeah,
Well, a few
yeah,
years ago, we
yeah.
had a big forest fire up there. And then
haven't been
DEP came in.
I know.
DEP came in and took a bulldozer and bulldozed
Oh.
around the whole area and made a big swath. So that, you know, the fire, it was smoldering up in there, it was deep with,
Well, there's a nice road right to the old Boy Scout camp.
yeah. But you can take it further past there when they did, we had to drive trucks up there and stuff, so there is a,
Well,
way to
I
get through
talked to
it,
that developer today and he said he thought he would be ready to come in a couple of weeks with one of his, he owns 3 parcels. So the parcel he said he would be ready to talk about, I don't believe was that one, but I'm sure when he comes in to talk to me, we'll end up talking about all of them.
Mhm.
So, yes, I will just keep in the back of my head when he's ready to bring that concept forth. To make sure that I get him in touch with you guys to do the assessment.
Perfect. Okay. Social media, PR, outreach, maps, brochures and flyers.
Well, somebody destroyed our map holder of Old Davis Road, so we don't,
oh, really?
yeah. I don't know if you have any map holders left.
We do not. Because I put the other ones up.
Does Paul have any?
I don't remember.
I don't know, he's online.
Yeah, I'm here. The only one I had is I put it up at the East Thompson station. That's the only one that I had. I actually had bought one myself, but I don't have any others.
So they originally came from Staples.
Oh, really?
Was it
Yeah.
Staples?
Yeah, that's where I got
I
the
was gonna
first
look on
ones.
Amazon. I mean, I don't mind buying a couple myself too. I just wanted to see if anyone did still have some before.
I don't have any. I put up the ones that I had and then,
And you gave me one that I put up to replace Lowell Davis, and now that one's gone.
Well, you need a motion to buy more.
No, I'm willing to buy it myself. I don't need to
Well,
spend money.
well, we're gonna need. The other ones don't have them either,
Mm.
so we might be talking like 6. I don't know how much they are, but
Where'd that
1 and 2 is not that bad, but when you start to get up in numbers, it.
I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but they weren't that much for me.
Mm.
I mean, we might want to look for
Where's it
something that's
close?
sturdier.
Where's the closest Staples?
David?
Auburn.
David?
Hmm,
Or
Auburn or Davie, just depends which way you wanna go. I bet you they're the same distance.
Probably.
And we could look online and see.
Yeah. I mean, I
Cool.
could- I
You
could
should
shop
just
for
buy
it, get
it
a price,
done.
and even if I buy them and
and you
want to
have,
reimburse me, or I. just
Right,
give
if
them
it's
to you,
under
whatever.
200, I
Yeah.
can just, okay it, so. Okay,
I still have plenty of maps printed, but I have no place to put them now. Oops.
Them bears are coming out, you know, come on.
So the social media has been about the same. I mean, I haven't had a lot to post on there.
Did you post this meeting? I didn't see it posted. I
You
was
know what, I
thinking of
probably
doing
didn't.
it, and I never got around to it.
Yeah. I don't think I did. No, I know I didn't. I didn't think I did. Like I said, somebody did tell us about a downed tree on the airline trail, so
well, it's been
It's been-
winter, not too many people are out.
you'd be
It's
surprised.
hard.
Sunday was a pretty nice day. There was a lot of people on
Yeah, like I said, there were.
Tri-State Market Trail, 15, I think I counted.
Like I said, I saw 3 cars at my trailhead before he came in.
Hmm.
A lot of dog walking,
Yeah,
but there was someone a couple days ago with his whole family with bikes on the back of his car, and they were using that spot to bike from. Which makes sense since going the other way is all rocks.
I think the averages for the counter for the last complete year, 50 a day, 50 people a day,
well,
might even be more, but 50 is sticking out in my head.
we haven't got to that part yet, never mind. So that's been about the same. I don't know, I'll post anything if we have stuff to post, but I haven't posted a lot lately. I'll post the next meeting so that people know and stuff, I guess, updates about this meeting.
And our maintenance, we'll be doing maintenance too
Yep.
at some point, so we always post pictures from that.
Not hearing any more. Let's go to reports from neighboring towns.
I guess before we move on, just to let you guys know that the Historic Society and Conservation Commission did get awarded a grant from the tourism district to do a map brochure thing, nothing as fancy as the Z maps, for a self-guided cemetery tour for Thompson. So, and they will have to expend those funds by the end of the fiscal year as well. So those should be ready to go in the summer. Where they plan on putting them, I don't know, but it does seem like maybe you should be coordinating with them as that gets produced.
Hmm.
And I'm not directly a part of it. I just sort of hooked them up with the grant. Yeah, you can.
Putnam.
I haven't heard anything from Putnam
Okay,
since, the support letter for their grant. So they're waiting on that too, I guess.
When is that gonna be determined? You know, when they're gonna,
Well, there was one grant that I believe has already been
Yeah.
notified and they didn't get,
They didn't.
I think.
Didn't hear.
They were all through CTD, but there was
Right.
one earlier in the year and I feel like that Carly told me that they didn't get that, Carly or Bruce. I could be wrong about that.
okay, but what about like the ones that you applied for? and
So I
that
believe they,
big group,
I think that they did also submit to the recreational trails grant unless I am
No,
mistaken.
I
Yes,
did
they
a
did.
support letter.
You did a support
Yeah.
letter, okay. So we are. The website says notification by the end of April. Realistically, I think that means May into June. As of last week or the week before, I don't think they had quite started reviewing yet. Actually, Lois can probably tell you better than anybody because she's on the review panel.
yeah,
But once they start reviewing, I mean, then, it's their scoring process. So,
I know Lori Giannotti is back temporarily and she's only there till June.
she is only assisting with this program, in fact, I
Yeah,
believe.
until June.
Yes. But Kim Bradley is still the
Right,
person in
right.
charge. Lori's just been giving her, help to bridge, essentially. Yeah, I mean, the region is well represented with applications. Whether that means we all weakened our final awards or not, I can't say.
It was a
I've
cha-
only read my own, so I don't know.
It was a challenge writing 4 or 5 letters that didn't all say the same
Same
thing.
thing.
I mean, I wrote for RC&D and I wrote for Wyndham Land Trust.
Yeah, Lois wrote 4 or 5 too.
I can't remember if I wrote one for Putnam too, but we all wrote for each other. So that could
Could help.
strengthen it.
All of it
Right,
helps
right.
each other too, though, in
Yeah.
the long run, but.
I mean, I don't know how many total applications they had either. I'm sure it was oversubscribed. But I know that one of the reasons that they gave us so little of our large ask last year was because they got so many and they wanted to award to as many worthy projects as possible. If they try to do that again, we could all, come up with very short amounts of funding, but I think it's probably likely we'll all get something.
Better something than nothing.
For the most part, better something than nothing. It would be very challenging for me to break out pieces of this, like I know what we can do with our
Yeah.
match funding.
Right,
And then I know what we can do with all of our funding, but there isn't really a comfortable in between for our project. I'm sure I could figure something out. I'm sure I could figure out a way to spend the state's money.
atta girl.
okay, we're on to Connecticut Trail Census.
So you heard,
I
This
just,
you
I
heard.
haven't heard anything. I look at it, the last time I looked at it was when
I'm not getting that email anymore.
I don't think I ever got an email. I look at it when I need it for a grant, so let me try to pull it up. I can tell you what the numbers were through last year.
I mean, as of last meeting, Charlie's still looking at it and checking that it's working.
He did respond about 10 minutes ago, but he isn't at his house, so wherever he. I don't know if he forgot the meeting or what, but he didn't get back in time.
2021 counts. Here we go. So this is through 21. Let me share screen. So there's your uses, weekly uses in through all of 2021. Peak month was April.
Weekly, that's monthly, right?
This is monthly.
says
Yeah,
weekly.
weekly is below.
Okay.
There you go. Total daily uses.
Wow.
So big spike in April. And then, oh, this is where I averaged uses by day of week. I mean, it's interesting. This is a super useful thing for me whenever I'm writing a related grant. It's easily accessible. I mean, you can dive right in here. You can see all kinds of trails in the state.
Yeah, I was disappointed to hear on Farmington Canal Trail going through Southington. Talking about the economic impact at one of the major intersections. A restaurant opened, a pizza place, fairly nice one, and they had an ice cream window right there on the trail, and they closed this year, so. I mean, they were there for at least 10 years, because they were when I lived there. So. I don't
Well,
know,
hospitality
maybe it
sometimes.
was just, high taxes and the cost of real estate in Southington, because. Still seems like that's a great use if you can put that, something like that right near a trail.
Okay, moving along, equipment, tools, status, maintenance.
So I have a question. There was a tool allotment of money last month and I saw it on the thing, but I talked to my friend about that tool.
PVs, yeah,
It's turns
The
rolls
log roller.
logs.
yeah.
He said he doesn't know why we need two. And then the one that I only looked at the one at Runnings and it wasn't more than what two would cost, but I didn't want to just buy it. I think there was one for 129 and one for 140. But I know they're cheaper other places, but they also have a wooden handle. This is all metal.
What'd you say?
I don't know a lot about them.
You said something about the two.
Yeah, it's true, like you said, wooden.
No, but when we
Oh, no.
voted it, and then you said something about it's easier to have two of them to turn the logs.
I've never used one.
If
so
you
I
want to
don't know.
lift up on both ends.
I think the main reason why we got it is because again, a tree that's across the trail that's too big for us to kind of move, you can't cut through it because you ruin your blade.
Right.
So you cut, and then,
Cut.
and you just roll it a
And
little
you don't
bit.
need to do both ends, you're just
You just do-
lifting it up so you,
Well,
Right.
you
Cutting
may
against
may
the-
need a second one to get first one out of jam.
Like I said, I don't know a lot about them, so that's why I figured before I just go buy something that I would ask and see what the thought is. I've never used one
Why don't we
before.
just get one?
yeah,
See how it goes.
Okay,
that's what I would say.
all right. I can
Only
pick it
buy
up
another one later.
at Runnings, yeah. But I didn't want to go spend, I forgot what the allotment was. But when it was, I think somebody said they were like $70 a piece, and I'm like, the two that I looked at Runnings weren't $70.
We allotted $200 to
Right.
purchase two of them, so,
Right,
you know.
so one of them was like 129 or 139, it depends,
Well,
one's a little
We
longer.
can up
handled
the
than the
ante.
other.
what they
We don't
want.
have to up the ante though, if we're gonna buy one and see what it works for us.
We might have
for.
looked at it online on Lowe's. I think that
Oh.
might be where that number came from.
Okay,
Let's see.
came right up when you've searched this site before.
That's
Yeah,
where,
that's
Yeah.
probably why.
Those are the
Wood
wooden
handle,
ones,
eh?
that's why. Again. If I broke that handle, I'd probably be broken too, so
They didn't.
well,
I'll go look
All
at
right,
there and
get
see
them
what they
in,
have.
get what's safest,
Okay, like
yeah.
I said, I've never used one, so it doesn't look like rocket science, but I just wanted to have a conversation first.
the vintage one with a wooden handle uses it all the time.
Well, that could be the second one, we'll borrow it at first.
He loves it when he volunteers.
Well, he can come and use it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to, because he's such a joiner.
Yes.
So I wasn't here at the last meeting, I did put. Stable and the gasoline in the equipment, the UTV. It was the only thing that I knew that wasn't done, so I put some in there. We haven't done any maintenance, but I'll have to try and schedule a day, like I said, I'm gonna look. I'd rather be sooner than later, because once the overgrowth starts, then you can't see where you're mowing it, makes it a little bit more difficult. At least for that part.
But are you mowing stuff that's not up yet?
No, but there's a lot of, I just walked to the tri-state market
It's the last
yesterday.
Fall's branches up.
Yeah,
there and stuff.
there's, I mean, a bunch of trees, they're only this big, so the mower can easily handle them. They're like a quarter of an inch, but they're gonna start growing in. The section actually from Sand Dam Road to the road overpass, I forgot what road, Thompson Road. That wasn't actually too bad. I walked that whole section looking for horses, but it wasn't that bad.
Actually, I got an email today from Joe, the new DPW person, and he was apologizing that he couldn't come to the meeting. And I said, well, we didn't really expect you to. We want to just keep you informed, but will you keep us informed if you can do some trail resurfacing? So I don't know where, I don't know what their road work for the summer, whether we're gonna get in their schedule, but we don't have we still don't
Yeah,
have.
how do
the-
we get stone dust?
Right, we don't have the stone dust, right? I mean, maybe that's something we want to.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Also,
one
I
of,
thought
that's one of the type, I don't know what it costs, but that's one of the type of things I was thinking, that if we have money, we might end up having to do that ourselves. But we
'Cause there's
still
some
need someone
parts
to
of that.
apply it.
Some parts of that trail that are starting to get
Mm.
a little wavy.
Well, stone dust is supposed to was it the DEP that was talked to us one day? You're supposed to resurface it twice a year. Ours hasn't been touched since it's been applied.
So the part that's stone dust that I've been on has been fine, except underneath the bridge where it's not washing out.
John, any idea how many hours are on the ATV?
I don't. I'll look and note it next time we go. I don't know if Paul knows. He's actually probably have more time in it than me.
I'm not sure.
I'll look. I haven't looked.
You may need an oil change.
Yeah, it probably should, huh? Even if it doesn't have that many hours, the oil's only good for so long. I
Sure.
mean, we've had that for
3-4 years.
maybe even 5. Yeah. Because we've had the trailer now for what? Almost 2 years, maybe,
Mhm.
maybe more. I don't even know. It's been the 2 community days. So it's
Yeah,
at
these
least a
two.
year and a half, yeah. Who does those?
Well, the guy at Dudley should do
You mean Fabian?
it.
And
I know you have
Quinnebog.
Does he? Yeah, I don't even know.
He does the snow blower stuff,
Okay,
maybe.
all right.
Maybe Thompson Auto.
That'll be my second check. That guy down there it's Quinnebog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Yeah.
I went down there when we got the blower and something else too.
That's right at the corner of the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the guy was super nice. When everybody was nice.
I
I
mean,
talked
that's
to like
where
2
we
different
got all
people.
our
But we didn't,
chainsaw stuff, yeah.
he must do it. All right. I don't have anything else on it either.
On to the last item, new agenda for future meetings.
So we do have stuff that for the Wyndham Land Trust that he brought up for next.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
June. It's our next meeting.
I mean, theoretically, we should know stuff about everybody's grants by then too.
Well, that's early June that we meet. I know.
The 5th, yeah.
If they're supposed to be notifying by the end of April and they go into, I mean,
Maybe.
maybe. It's not impossible.
Nothing being heard, can we get a motion to adjourn?
So you can get a nap before the game?
Yeah,
I need an app before the game.
it's not gonna end until after midnight, probably. Jeez.
And yet nobody seems to be moving.
At least I drive back from Gamble.
Meeting
I
to
make a
adjourn,
motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I don't actually really have to.
We never, we don't.
Usually just say what time it is,
Yeah.
it's done, but when you hit
get it-
more
we
recording,
get it
that's when
done.
it'll be done.
What is, what are yours accurate?
8:20.